Get your hands on the entire group for the first time. How's that first session with everyone been?
Yeah, well, great. Big day yesterday. Everyone came in. There's a lot of things to do behind the scenes, but today's been getting out on the rugby field very light, just to start introducing a few things the next couple of days and probably have a bit more of a decent hit out later in the week.
Are there battered and bruised bodies at all after Saturday's final?
Yeah, look, there's probably 40% of the team feeling fresh, and 60% are coming. But we're used to that, and it's always a tough time, the transition time from one campaign to the other, and you got to. I guess you got to get everyone on the same page. You got to use different language. People have to deal with emotions of, big finals. So it's business as normal, I guess, in that sense.
You want to start every campaign on the front foot as well as you can. But is that extra important this year, given it's a bit condensed before the World Cup gets underway?
Yeah, well, I think it's. All our planning is about, World Cup years, you don't have a lot of games going into it, we know that, so it just makes every day really important to us, and, but you're still dealing with the same issues in terms of transition from one campaign to the other. You can't often speed that up too much, but, again, we've just got to maximise each day and get excited about it.
How difficult is it bringing all the guys together, some bitterly disappointed, fresh from celebration?
Look, it's like I said, it's an eternal issue. It's always going to be there. It always has been there. It's history says it's not the easiest thing to do, and so what we've learned is you can't go too fast with it. You can't expect people to adapt and adjust straight away and ignore the emotional toll of what people have been through. So it's a slow to fast process this week, and so we're making sure we don't push them too much physically and give the bodies a chance to heal, but at the same time we're equally demanding on the mental side of it, because we need to make sure that we're ready. It's a nice little challenge for us as coaches. You've got a coaching group that's jumping out of their skin and done a lot of work, and we want to layer stuff, so we've got to be really careful how we do that, and make sure that what we do now is critical for next week.
How does Anton's suspension affect your plans, and have you called anyone in this cover?
No one's called in. We don't see a need to do that at this stage. Still, obviously there's a few bodies and injuries we're still assessing over the next couple of days, but no, I don't think we'll replace it. And how it affects our plan is that he won't be playing.
Who are your main injury concerns there?
We've got, I think Leicester's got a tight calf, so we'll get that looked at. Mark Talia is still progressing. He's progressing well, but we won't be in a position to really challenge that till later in the week. In terms of a proper test, we've got Sammy Whitelock with his Achilles, so he didn't train today, and he's obviously he played during that recovery period, so we just got to see how he transitions the next week or two. Probably the main ones. Did I miss any?
Would you have rather have seen Sam sit that game out from an All Black perspective?
I'm just looking at it now. He obviously made a decision based on all the medical advice he got, and many sense rolled the dice and got through it. But he's not right to train today, so we've just got to deal with what we've got now.
Sorry, will a fair few of the finalists not play against us?
Yeah, a bit early for that, Sav, I think, don't you? It's not our plan. I mean, we haven't got a formula that says the finalists won't play this week. I think we're keen to get to build some combinations, but we've got to tread that line between what we've got this week, see where the energy levels are, and so it's. But no, we expect there'll be 36 guys on the plane at this stage. We've got the other injury, by the way, was Fletcher Newell, who's coming back. He's progressing really well. So we've got Tavita Mafaleo, who's joined us, came last week. He's with us this week. Likelihood is that he'll come with us, but we might also take Fletcher because he's probably only maybe a week away after that. And the other one is Sean Stevenson, who's still with us, and to cover for Mark, and there's a strong likelihood that he'll come with us as well.
Will Sam Sam unlikely to play against Argentina?
Sam,
Quite likely.
oh, I don't know. Based on what I saw today, we've got the next couple of days to just assess it. So it's pretty sore though.
Ian, in terms of the makeup of your group, I know you're reluctant to talk team naming and those sorts of things, but
Reluctant? That's not a nice word. You just asked me a question you know I'm not going to answer.
in terms of impact from the bench, when you look at guys like Tamati Williams and Damien McKenzie, Samapeni Finau, is that an area where you're seeking improvement this year, and you think some of those profile of athletes can help you do that?
Yep, oh, no doubt. I think it's an area we when we got it right last year, I thought our bench did a great role in many games. But I'm looking at the mix this year, and certainly it's part of our thinking is how we go and get that 23 right, and there's some players that in a good spot to put their hand up for that.
What did you take away from the Super Rugby final? The breakdown was fairly willing. Did it give you a bit of confidence that this is these two teams are building quite nicely and your players are building nicely?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's it became a final where the breakdown became a little bit for a free for all for a while there. It was very aggressive, and there was a lot of people counter-rucking and really turned that into a bit of a bun fight. So there was some there were decisions made, and like you look at Sam's decision near the end, where people were actually very aggressive in that space for that whole game, and he probably tried once too often. But the breakdown has become a very competitive state. And
do those 3 yellow cards to All Blacks players give you cause for concern, or is that just part of rugby?
yeah, well, we don't want them, and I'm sure the Chiefs didn't want them. Sometimes there's a bit of a lesson there. Your senior players can sometimes want something so badly that they just overextend or force a play when they don't need to. So it's like every pressure moment. There's some great learnings in that.
Last couple of questions, guys.
Ian, you might have been aware of the abuse Ben O'Keefe was subject to after that game. I wonder, do you think there's a role to play for coaches, players, whoever, and kind of helping stamp that out, because it's the nasty side of the game, I guess?
Yeah, well, definitely. There's no place for it. It's Ben's a quality ref, and I trust he was making the decisions with the right reasons, and like always, he's never going to get 100% right, and coaches are never going to get 100% right, and players are never going to. But we've got an unforgiving crowd out there at the moment, haven't we? Who like to pick holes, and I think it's a sad part, and I think we've all got to play a part. I think we've got to play a part in that. I think the media got to play a part in that, and we've just got to stamp that out, because the refs are, they've got a tough job, and and we just got to keep standing by them.
Last question, guys.
Should Sam Cane in front of the media following the Super Rugby final?
Should he in front of the media? I think Sam wanted to front the media.
But he didn't?
No, I think that was his coach's call, and I think that was made pretty clear. I don't know too much about it, but my understanding is that he didn't know that Clayton had gone in, and Clayton made a decision to go in by himself, so can't really see what the issue was about.
Okay, thanks team. Thank you very much.
There's a question?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I was going to ask, you're at the Warriors home field. Have you had the chance to go rub shoulders with Andrew yet?
No, we just arrived and probably going to get kicked off shortly. So,
Yeah.
But I think some of the boys are pretty keen to go and try and watch them on Friday, but can't get tickets. So if there's anyone out there, there's a few All Blacks are keen. Thank you.
Thanks, team. Slot calls in.
Alright, here we go. Okay team, we've got Dane Coles here.
Colsey, did you cop some friendly fire out there or something?
Oh, it's actually from the Brumbies game, and it just keeps getting knocked off. So first draw, I think Penny got me, so probably going to stay there for the rest of the year. But yeah, let's get into it.
Nice to be back again. I know you were in camp last week as well, but to have the whole group back in together and to kind of start, your All Blacks here.
I think it's good. Like, it was good going last week with the Canes. We obviously had a week to process the loss, and the Blues had come off their loss. So you've got two different groups, you know, Crusaders and Chiefs, but it's we've kind of made a full stop, and everyone's at kind of different energy. But I think over the next couple of days we'll get in, boys will be on, and we can get stuck into things. But it's good to have the team together. We can get stuck in.
You always want to start your years at, you know, near about the top of your game, but does that take extra importance as you give a World Cup year, a bit more of a condensed schedule before you get to the World Cup? Do you need to get there a little bit quicker?
Yeah, I think it's important that we learn pretty quick, especially this week. I think our first priority is that rugby championship and going to a pretty hostile environment in Mendoza. So this week's very important. That just sets us up for next week. So yeah, I suppose just leading the right way, getting the critical things done. Yeah, and just making sure we're in a good place when we get over there.
You've been in this situation a number of times, Dane, with a short run into a test match. What's the most important this week?
I think it's just keeping it simple, to be fair. Like, you can get carried away with all the trying to know everything. I suppose the forwards just nailing our scrum and our line-out is probably the first part, and I suppose the defence and attack, just getting that little critical review, that's quite important for the game plan. But yeah, I think sometimes you can get overawed for the lingo and, you know, the maps and that, but I think we've got a pretty experienced group to keep things really simple, and just do your job, know your role, and I think that will help, and then we can kind of build on as things go on in the season.
Dane, how are those new boys slotting in, including your young teammate Cam?
Yeah, they've been good. I think Cam's a bit of a deer in the headlights at the moment, but yeah, it's important we get around them and have a yarn. But they all seem pretty, I suppose, on eggshells a little bit, which is fair enough. But yeah, they seem like good kids.
Does that sort of take you back to when you were a new cap? You know, you see these young, fresh faces, like you said, deer in the headlights, and sort of the emotions you were going through the first time you were in All Blacks camp?
Yeah, it does, mate. Like, you can see, yeah, they're just the way they carry themselves. They're checking their phones for the meetings, don't want to be late and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a cool feeling, but I suppose you're on edge because you want to be part of it and want to get stuck in. So yeah, we'll just pull them back a little bit and get around them. But yeah, some good kids, and get around them. I think Tamaiti can't talk. A couple of days on the bender, so get his voice back. But yeah, he's pretty quiet at the moment, so that's good.
What's the vibe like, mate, between the Chiefs and the Crusaders?
I think you know, first day is always a bit, I suppose, niggly between them, but we had a meeting last night, everyone's joking around, and a bit of humour, I think, is always a good thing, and I think the boys have left it. I think all those Chiefs and Crusader boys went to bed at 7 o'clock last night to get a bit extra sleep, but they seem good, mate, and like, it's important to put a full stop to the super season and get real tight and get to looking for the rugby championship.
Okay, last one, guys. Anyone?
Some changes that you've noticed in Super Rugby this season, which will transfer to the All Blacks, maybe around the week constantly evolving?
Yeah, I think it's probably everything, to be fair. Like, I reckon the game, especially the forwards, there's a lot more ball play. There's a lot more like skill sets. It's kind of, you're playing, it's almost a little bit like league at the moment, the way we play. So I think especially just speaking on behalf of forwards, just constantly working on your ball skills, and it's not the old scrum and line out anymore. It's, you've got to really evolve and almost be like a back, I suppose. But yeah, that's the thing I've probably noticed this year. The ball's in play a lot longer, and you've got to get the big boys up and get ready to catch the ball. And yeah, so that's something I suppose as a forward we're working on. Yeah, I might just wrap up and then go put a Warriors jersey on. But yeah, we'll go have a watch.
Dane, you'll probably be aware, Keith was subject to some pretty violent abuse after that final. Is there a place for the role of the players, coaches, or whoever to help stamp that kind of stuff out?
Yeah, I felt sorry for people. Like, I've been on that side too, with abuse on social media, so it's always best to delete it for a bit. But yeah, I think as players we have a responsibility, and like it's everyone's passionate about the game, but it's important that we just kind of leave it where it was and respect them, because he shouldn't. Abuse is not a great thing, especially through direct messages from some muppets on social media. So yeah, I've been in those shoes and it's not fun. But I think how Clayton and everyone's kind of reached out and fully supported Ben. It's important that we show respect to the rest in the game, because they're doing a great job, and sometimes they don't get it right, but it doesn't mean we can go out and do what people have done to them.
All right, guys.
Moving with COVID?
Nah, I got my own room. So, but me and Co's had a hug, and we're all good. We're good mates, so we make sure we leave it on the field. But I'll watch it from out training. He might give me a training, so we'll see.
One last one.
Thanks,
Just
Shane.
young
Thank
mate,
you.
who wants to ask you a couple of questions.